from Los Angeles.
Oh, we got a good one. It's only February, but last night's Spurs-Pistons game, I don't know about you guys. It had a little playoff feel, some physicality to it. I would be happy to see 7 games of this come June. In fact, why not relive it right now? Let's go to Detroit and pick this one up, Brian. Late in the first quarter, Ron Holland shoots in the corner. See, Wemby, he just makes you rethink all your decisions.
You want to stretch the floor with him, but he can be in the paint and at the line at the same time.
Yo, Tobias Harris turning back the clock over Julian Champagny there. One hand, nasty jam, and the Detroit bench is... Did he cut the sleeves off his warm-up? What happened there? And then Cade Cunningham has to return the favor here, Marc. Showing his prowess.
He needs help.
Two-way there. Under 4 minutes left in the second quarter. Cunningham shoving Stephon Castle to the ground and standing over him. Then Keldon Johnson pushes Cunningham away. Jalen Duren stepping in. Getting chippy.
Get in a fight with the Pistons, Spurs.
Yeah.
You don't want to do with that.
Where was Stu at watching this?
He coming down the hall.
Johnson, Duren received technicals. Cunningham with the offensive foul. And then Devin Vassell knocks down the 3. The Spurs end the half with the lead. So to the third we go. 7 minutes left. Cunningham goes up. Wembanyama is right there to meet him. Fox gets the ball, pushes it up the court, swings it to Castle. Knocks down the corner 3. Defense leading to offense for San Antonio, and Victor is loving it. A minute later, Vassell passes to Wembanyama. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Take that shot. What are you going to do? You can't do anything about it.
Yeah, you got to call Ghostbusters, and even that won't work. Next play.
He's so nice.
An all-star on all-star poster right there.
Jalen Duren's not afraid, I'll tell you that.
No.
Late in the fourth, Castle gets the ball, lobs it up to Wembanyama, ices the game. The Spurs go on to win this one, 114-103. Here's Victor Wembanyama on the Spurs' potential.
I don't think this is a night where we learn the most things about ourselves, but it's definitely a night where we confirm progression and confirm potential as well. But that was a good test.
Well, Monday.
Progression, confirm, potential. I like that.
It's a very Wemby phrase. And this is a very Wemby stat. San Antonio's 5th win against the team with the best record in the NBA. That's the most since Pat Riley's 92-93 Knicks, who also had 5. And you know, my friends, that it is a big day when Richard Jefferson makes his triumphant return to NBA Today. Rich, thank you for joining us. And you've called several Spurs games this year. You've been off all around the league. We have enough of a sample size now. They're stacking some impressive wins. What does this tell you about what they're ready to do in the postseason?
I think they're ready. I think they're still, it's that first postseason. It's that first, when you look at last year, OKC. You look at Denver, it had a couple of runs. Boston had a couple of runs before they got over the hump. I think this is that first year where, you know, when you play against Detroit in the regular season and they're on a road trip and coming off the All-Star break, you can catch them. But I think when you're playing in a 7-game series, you need experience. That's why we love the OKC matchup with them. They played OKC, I think, 3 times in a matter of 10 days.
Yeah.
That's what makes that fun, because it feels like the postseason. I think that they easily could have the best record, but I think that they're still a year away. Look at OKC last year, best record, or 2 years ago, best record. They get to the postseason, they realized they needed some bigs, they filled in the gaps, and then that's what helped them win the championship. Same with Boston. You get there one time, you win it the next. I feel like this team, this San Antonio team has all the talent. They can get there. I think they can make a run, but I still think that their better version will be that follow-up year, which would be coming up next season.
Well, if you're tanking, you look at the Spurs and go, now we see what we're doing. Because this team has been built out incredibly through the draft these last few years, and they're coming into their own. I will say this, if they shoot the three-pointer like this, they'll win the title. Because their one weakness really is they're not a good three-point shooting team. They rank, I think they came into last night 23rd in three-point shooting. Last night they make 18 of them. You're not beating the Spurs when they make 18 threes. They shot 45%. That's just a real weapon that they don't usually have access to.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing I'm going to say is, this is the thing. If you can't get Wemby out of the paint, you're going to have major, major problems. Because Jalen Duren, you know, he is a close-to-the-basket player. He's trying to get offensive rebounds. Time and time again, Wemby was in the paint defensively because he didn't have to leave it because of Durant.
Well, and J.B. Bickerstaff said after the game that he sort of feels like later in the fourth quarter, when interestingly Asar Thompson was on the bench, one of their better defenders, he said he felt like maybe they figured something out. They play again in a couple of days, so we're going to get to see if that's true. But the problem, Mark, is yes, Victor Wembanyama is the head of the snake, but they have so perfectly built this team, this young team around him.
Yeah, there's certainly strength in numbers in this team. I know Wemby's the star. He definitely needs to be the head of the marquee. But they got 8 guys averaging 10 points a game. De'Aaron Fox, Vassell, Castle. You got a guy with a championship, Harrison Barnes, making big shots in the corner.
Yep.
Harper's been an amazing rookie. Like, how do you guard them? This is like better than the Richard Jefferson Spurs, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's just so much talent.
A lot better.
And
mostly because there's no Richard.
I know the threes are a concern, but I don't know if there's another team in the league that has that many guys that can get a bucket.
Yeah.
Keldon Johnson.
What we're not going to do, right, it is one game. But when you start looking at the collection that the Spurs are starting to put together, it's very hard to ignore. On the other hand, the Pistons, they struggled offensively. Stephon Castle, you mentioned him. I mean, he locked Cade Cunningham up.
He's locking everybody up.
Right? Cade shot 5 for 26 from the field in this one. He made just 1 of his 15 attempts in the second half. That amounts to the worst field goal percentage by any player to take 25 or more shots in a game since Donovan Mitchell, and that was back in 2018. And the Pistons have a tough schedule coming up. We mentioned that rematch against the Spurs, but they also host the Thunder on Wednesday, the Cavaliers on Friday. You can catch both of those on ESPN. And then they play their next 3 games on the road, the Magic, the Cavaliers, and then the Spurs. Richard, by your logic, you're saying teams, they need a year. Well, the Pistons, they kind of did that, right? Last year, they shocked everyone. They made it to the playoffs. They lost in a tough 6-game battle. Do you think that they are that team now, that they can take that next step? Because everyone's looking at them saying, all right, you're the top dog in the East.
Well, this is the year before the year.
But they did that last year, no?
No. Last year, getting
like
to the postseason. No, that's the pre. No. They did a great job. They got to the 7. They got to experience, right? But that's still not a playoff run. That's not like, hey, we've done it. Kind of even you look at it's a taste. It's like, okay, we understand this. Now they showed up the next year and they jumped to number 1. Think when Golden State lost in 7 against the Clippers.
Okay.
And then the next year they started off and they were on top all year long, and that really started the dynasty. But that loss in 7 was them still figuring it out. I think that's what happened exactly with their loss to the Knicks. They could have easily won that Knicks series if not for a couple plays, couple possessions. So I look at the same way with the Pistons. They are now announcing that they are a formidable monster, not a perennial playoff team, but they have the ability to be a monster. But everyone on this panel would probably agree that they need a little bit more. Cade needs a little bit more help. Even if you look at the shortest odds here on the Sports Playbook, it's because they need more help. They need a secondary scorer. Durant's outstanding, an all-star big. But if you don't have another scorer next to Cade to win 4 playoff games against the best of the best, that's where they don't have enough. You can have the best record and not have the best playoff quality team.
Yeah, you often see people like us sit up here and say, well, there's a difference between the playoffs and the regular season. Well, what do we mean by that? Well, what we mean is in a playoff setting, the entire game plan will be set against Cade Cunningham. And last night it was with a great defense, and he had a bad night. Like, he is going to hit some of the shots.
Sure.
But part of what he was dealing with there was they were standing on his toes. Stephon Castle was standing on his toes, and he had a great backline defense if he got past him. So they're going to have to learn how to deal with the counters. And they are a team that has shooting trouble, too. By the way, this will be the case for the Spurs. When the Spurs get in the postseason, teams will not guard Steph Castle, and they'll say, go ahead and try to make your threes, and maybe you will, maybe you won't. They'll have to deal with the same situation. But part of what we say is that we know that when you get to win 3 playoff series, get to the finals, you have to overcome all of those individualized game plans. And they just have to prove that they can do it. Could they? Sure they could, but they haven't proven it yet. I think it's a fair assessment.
You know, when I look at the Cavs, New York, Boston, assuming Tatum is there, Philly, they all got a second guy, a third guy.
Offensively,
Detroit, I mean, respect to Durant, they don't really have it. Tobias Harris is there. But to your point, Brian, come playoff time, and all I got to worry about is this series. They're going to be ready for him. And one thing I think the Pistons, maybe Trey John's kicking himself a little bit, is they didn't go get that other dog that could come in there and get you 30. Yeah.
Well, they got Kevin Huerter trying to deal with the three-point shooting.
But he wasn't out there for this one.
I'm talking about dogs.
Well, and as Richard always likes to remind me, in the playoffs, the scouting report goes from about this thick to this thick for the playoffs, and so things get a little bit different.